Hi, I'm so glad that you're here. Thanks for joining me. My name is Mary P. Hall. Today we're going to take care of our hips. So we'll start our practice standing. A chair might come in handy later in the practice just for a little extra balance, but it is not necessary. So let's start by taking a couple full deep breaths. So as you inhale, sweep your arms up. And then as you exhale, hands through heart center and down. Let's do that 2 more times. Breath in, expand your spine. Exhale down, slight bend to your knees, opening up and down. So now we're going to raise our hands again. This time though, we're going to reach up and then scoop in your belly a little bit. And we're going to lean over to the side. Keep a slight bend to your knees. And you might have to adjust your posture a little bit. What we're looking for is a stretch on the outside of your hip. So you might have to kind of hula hoop a little to get into place. Once you find a spot, we'll breathe into that spot. Another option is to look up into the little crook of your elbow, but only if that feels okay with your neck. But breathe deeply, check in with your knees bent just slightly. And then we'll take a breath in. Now we're going to forward fold, but bend your knees a lot and just let yourself fold. See if you can let your neck relax so the crown of your head goes to the floor, towards the floor. Slowly rise up. Take a breath in, and then we'll go to the other side. So leaning over, slight bend to the knees, and then kind of moving in such a way so that you feel like you get an opening on the outside of your opposite hip. And then once you settle into a spot, let's take some really nice deep breaths. So breathing in through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. Let's take 2 more nice deep breaths. 1 more, and then extend, and we'll do that forward fold again. So bend your knees a lot, let yourself fold, and then rise up. You could sweep your arms up, bring your hands to heart, and down to your sides. Next, we're going to step our feet wider than hip width distance, and then turn your toes slightly out. So if you need a chair for support, you can use that, possibly bringing the chair in front of you. So what we're going to do is we're going to squat down just to a point where it feels okay on your knees, and then rise up. So you'll have your hands through heart center as you lower, and then sweep your arms up, straighten your legs as you rise up, exhaling down, breathing in as you rise. Maybe going a little bit lower now that you're a little bit looser after a couple times, but only go to a point that feels like you're feeling a little stretch, but don't overdo it. Let's do 1 more. And rise up, hands to heart, and then heel toe your feet together. Next, we'll do high crescent pose. So a chair might come in handy. We'll come to your mat in mountain pose, your feet about hip width distance apart. And what we're going to do is just slide 1 foot back. So it'll still be hip width distance. So you'll want to feel really solid in your stance. So the chair is there if you need it for support. And what we're going to do on the ball of your back foot, we're just going to lower down and then stand like you're standing on the tippy toe of your back foot. So we're looking for is a stretch along the front side of this back leg. So let's move with breath, inhaling and exhaling. The front knee stays mostly bent. Exhaling and inhaling. Let's do 2 more. So the movement is very subtle. So now step your back foot up. Let's take a freedom breath. So sweep your arms up, hands to heart, and to your sides. And then let's do the opposite leg. So come back to mountain pose, feet about hip width distance apart. So this time sliding back your opposite leg and finding a stance where you feel really stable. So don't worry so much about how close your feet are front and back. Stand on the ball of your back foot, and then we'll start those little pulses. So lowering down, rising up. So looking for that stretch along the front of your back leg and following and flowing with your breath. Lowering, exhaling, rising, inhaling. Let's do one more of those. Whew. And step up. So for our next exercise, we're going to come to a seat. So make your way to a seat, and we'll do a pose called Baddha Konasana or butterfly pose. So what you'll do is bring the soles of your feet close together. And then you can decide how close or far you want your heels towards your body. And you could, if you need to adjust, you could always scoot yourself forward or backwards. So one position is to stay seated. So this is an option. So now you could stay seated. Another option is to keep your back straight and lean forward. Option 2. The third option is to bring your chin towards your chest, round your spine, and sink in. So again, choosing which version feels right for you. And once you find that version, we're just going to take a couple of breaths in and out. Okay, now you can close your knees like a book and then come to your back. As you're on your back, place your both feet on the ground. Cross your right ankle over left knee to start. This is one option. Another option is to lift your left foot off the ground. And then the third option is to hold on to the back of your left leg. So now when you're in this pose, you can decide if you'd like to stay in stillness or if it feels better for you to rock from side to side. You might find that there's a spot that might be a little bit tender, so you might want to stay on that spot and breathe into it. Or it might be that you just want to rock from side to side. So it's totally your option. And then bring both feet down, and then we'll switch to the other side. So left ankle over right knee, option 1. Lifting right foot, option 2. Maybe holding on to the back of your right leg, and then just taking a couple of deeper breaths, maybe swaying from side to side, maybe coming into stillness. Feeling the flow of your breath in and out. You can maybe imagine that you can send your breath to the area of your left hip. Let's take one more breath here. Now place both feet down and then actually bring both feet up. We'll do happy baby. So what we'll do is bring your knees towards your armpits. So this might be where you stay. Another option is to place your hands on your ankles. A third option would be to bring your hands to the outside of your feet and then choose to either rock from side to side or stay in stillness. Or another option might be to bend one knee and straighten the other leg, or just kind of do a free-for-all happy baby, just whatever feels right for you. Continuing to have a deep, smooth breath. And then you can place your feet down Roll onto your side, come to a seat. Thank you so much for practicing with me.